Hello and welcome to Cigar Box Guitars, aka the Dutchman in San Marcos. I am the DISM, and we welcome you to another episode. It's not going to be work on the B King because I kind of did another little big giant side. Well, it's an ongoing side project. Like I was talking about the remodel of the garage workshop, and so I had to do quite a bit of carpentry work. So let's get going. Okay, so here we go. It's kind of be a little different show. I'm going to actually give you a tour of the workshop, and then I had quite a bit of work to get. I wanted to build new workbenches, and so got that done. I'll go through all of that. I actually, the church I work at, we're throwing away a bunch of old office furniture, desk and stuff. So there was one piece that was a big, those things you put on your desk that are like a big hutch. Well, they already had kind of deconstructed that. They took the back off it, which was almost a 4x8 sheet of stuff, which made my tops. And then the top piece ended up being another piece that I could use too. So the nice thing is the church's workshop where they were putting it all actually has a really nice table saw. So I was able to cut the stuff up really nice with the table saw and get some of that done. But this is actually phase 3. On Saturday, I worked all day on basically phase 1. Monday, because it was the holiday, I worked on phase 2 of it. And now this is kind of the end of phase 3, but it's still not over. I still got more to do. So what I'm going to do is I'll take you a tour on what I've gotten done so far. And so you can see kind of what I'm planning. The interesting thing is it goes way back into there. And as you can see, I got a lot of the bikes and bike parts. I had bike parts and stuff on here on the cabinets that I'm using now for my workbench. And so let me give you a shop tour, and then I'll kind of give you some details of the things I've made. So I'm going to grab the camera here, so excuse my bumpiness of the camera. We'll try to keep it pretty steady so you're not getting seasick. But if you look over here, I've got, and I'm gonna hang on just a minute. I'm gonna reverse my camera here. Hang on just a minute. I gotta cut it here a minute. Okay, there we go. I got the camera reversed. It's kind of messy. This is kind of the normal workshop area on the wall, down in. I'll see if I can get my finger in there. This right here has a bunch of spare wood and stuff in it, but this here definitely needs to be cleaned up. As you can see, it's always work in progress. These here, this cabinet, my father-in-law actually made it in his wood shop, and it wasn't for tools, but I use it for my cigar box working tools now. And so then I got some things up in here. There's an old antique cigar box. So, and I've got soldering station over there. As you can see, it's pretty full. So the things I worked on was over here. You can see all the bikes hanging up. I had these tool chest cabinets actually right here and here, and this one had like bike parts and everything on it. If you look back at my video, you might be able to see it. So the little camper right here was, oh, I don't mean to swing you too fast, was right here. And so the thing I built was this unit here. These still have tools in it. I'm gonna have to rearrange the drawers. But what I built was, I got these tops cut. Now these are all cut and screwed together. little story. These are just cut. These are just cut pieces. They were supposed to originally fit in here, but as you can see, if you can see this line right here, I had to glue them together and re-screw them, because when I got them home, this was this size. When I got them home, I was like, oh no, I made them wrong. And I had wrote my little list, and this was my list. And you can see I made the 7 right, but the 17 on the side there, I read it in the shop as an 11, so I cut them 11 inches, not 17 inches. So that was my big mistake. But we corrected it, and I just got these done yesterday. So these aren't, I didn't screw them on yet. Here, let me set this. It's hard doing things one-handed. I didn't screw them on, but as you can see down here, they fold down. So I still haven't decided if I want to screw these on, but that way these are level. And these were actually top pieces, which were nice. These were actually thicker than this. So it actually worked out better. So that's the one work cabinet I have now that I can extend the arms out. And then I built, it'll look familiar, I built a new table here with the green mat. Still had my vise, still put the light on there. You can see the King Bee box all ready to get back to work. And usually I set my camera right up on here in the mix of all the shells, and it looks down on it. That's where you see that green mat. That green mat used to be attached to this, my adjustable tool tray. So now I made this my tool tray, which can be, and I used to have all the clamps on the chop saw cart, so I took them off there to kind of keep all my tools together, which made working on things a lot easier. And then this rack here, with my saw, I have in there I have my jigsaw, and then my sander, and I got a drill press on there, which I don't use as much, but I might start using it more. It's kind of like a portable drill press where you put an old-fashioned drill that plugs in on it. And so I had that. All my tools, I bought all of this stuff except that. My fretting saw was from Harbor Freight and Tool. All the rest were all from flea markets and Goodwill and those type of things. So everything was used. So those are my tools. And so now I've got this nice square. I got my tool bench here, my saws here, my chop saw cart, and these are all on wheels, so they all roll around. And so that's the new workshop. So I thought I would give you a tour of where I'm at all the time. You only usually see one sided of it. The cabinets that my father-in-law built, they're kind of nice. He was a woodworker. That closes up like that, and then it comes down. He originally made it, and I still don't get it. He originally made them to be, I don't know, jewelry box or chests. He had the handles for these, but he put these on instead of the handles. I don't know why. So those pull out, and these have a knob to pull out, so you can see. But they're nice. But my son, it's so big. My son didn't want it, so I couldn't put it to waste because it was kind of like a nice toolbox thing. And the other thing I had was this was you'll see one down here. He made these. These are actually, you can see this thing here, which I have parts in right down there. Actually, jewelry boxes for my daughter, and I ended up with all 3 of them. So That was my other daughter. I remember if that was the same thing, little jewelry chest thing. And I can't remember if that was Ashley's or that was Elizabeth's. But anyways, I got 2 daughters. He made those too. Those were made by my father-in-law, which I really admire his woodworking abilities. He really made them nice, as you can see. They're all slide in. He put dividers with little pieces of felt in them, so they're well made. So I just couldn't see them going to waste. But so that's kind of a tour of the shop. Of everything I got going. Like I said, a little bit more cleaning and organizing. And the other thing I have to do is I have to, this one, oops, it locked on me. There we go. It had just my regular tools in them, as you can see. It's nice that they, oh, you can't see that. It had my regular mechanical tools in them. This one still locks. I don't know what happened to this one. It has that same type of thing, but doesn't lock. I don't know if it got broke. So the problem I have with this one is they like to fall open. But as you can see, I had all bike parts and bike tools in these. So what I have to do is do a rearrangement because I'm not working on, this was more for working on my Jeep and cars, and now I'm using it for cigar boxes. So the plan is to find a different home for these tools and the bike tools, and maybe just one, maybe have regular tools. Maybe I'll keep my regular tools in this one because it is portable, and putting, you know, I'm kind of this is my official cigar box work table now, right here, this one. Maybe putting my cigar box working tools in these other drawers so they're closer by, because that's what I found. If I'm running for something when I'm working on them, I waste probably more time looking for stuff, because I almost got too many spaces to hold stuff. So keeping stuff central is more key, and so I'm trying to get back to that. So yeah, so let me kind of wrap it up. So there we go. Let me kind of wrap this up. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I was working pretty hard on getting all these tops on these cabinets, which worked out really nice. I mean, but I did have some mistakes, but I corrected my mistakes. The nice part is on those seams, on the ones I had to glue, because I cut them on a table saw, they were so smooth and slick. So I'll definitely be back to use the table saw to cut things. I'm thinking about putting more wood down the middle of my necks, so I might cut some purple wood to put in my necks, the next necks I make, and that makes them stiffer too, to glue them together. But you got to be able to cut them really cleanly, and so now I know I at least got that at my access to use, and so that'll make those easier. The other thing is we'll get back to work on the King Bee next week, and because now that I got the shop together, we'll get going working on that. And a nice part about working with things, wood or metal, if you have the tools, you can fix it, and so there's never a bad cut, because you can always either glue it back together, or if you cut the metal, you can weld it back together. So I kind of live on that. I'm not a perfect cutter like my father-in-law really, but had more precision in that stuff than me. But each time I get better and better, and you live and learn, and there's nothing that makes it actually more fun. But man, I was surprised when I got back to my shop and put these in the tray, and I'm like, they're too small. And so these other blanks I have, these guys here, I'm gonna hang on to them because I'll still be able to use them. They're thick, so they kind of make a nice chopping block. So I'm sure we can find a use for it, even though they came out the wrong size. They do make these little leaves a little higher, so if I put something in between them and stacked them up for the chop saw or something, I could use them as little extensions. So they won't go to waste, but so there we have it. So I just thought I'd keep you up to date on the content, and the workshop is a big part of what happens with my cigar boxes, and so I hope you enjoyed the tour. Hopefully you didn't get too sick and dizzy of me swinging the camera around. I tried to go slow. It's always hard with a camera. You want to show stuff and you start swinging around. There might have been stuff you didn't see too good because I was pointing at it and the camera wasn't. Trying to do it one hand and doing it gets a little harder. But the other exciting thing coming up, I'm going to NAMM on Saturday. If anybody doesn't know what NAMM is, that's the National Association of Music Makers. So basically it's music equipment, anything involved with the music industry. It's not free. You can pay to get in, but if my good friend Charlie got me tickets, actually me and my son Patrick got me tickets. He has a rider with Ultimate Ears, so he got me tickets through Ultimate Ears to go to NAMM. So we'll be there on Saturday. Last time I went with my son, that was a few years back. We both kind of came to the conclusion that it's kind of like going into a music store when it's busy on overdrive because everybody's playing something. So they're playing the basses, the keyboards, the guitars. Everybody's picking this stuff up and playing it. It's like it can get pretty crazy if you get overloaded by a lot of noise because, well, not really noise, but music. But they do have, the fun part is they do have a lot of famous people come in and demo their stuff or show it off. I'm sure I want to definitely see the Fender booth with the new Fender guitar they have. They actually a couple shows back at NAMM, they showed it as a prototype, but now they're actually going to make it as a production model. So it'll be fun seeing that. And then you get to see everything that's coming out new. And every once in a while I run across a booth where they actually are doing cigar boxes. I remember, and this was about 3 years back, I went there and there was a guy actually making cigar box guitars, but they weren't cigar boxes. He was making guitars out of skateboards, which is kind of on that same theme of cigar box guitars, but he wasn't using cigar boxes. He was using old skateboards, and that was pretty cool. So there's a lot of things and then I always liked the custom makers because they have, limited supplies, but each guitar you look at is custom made and designed by them. So it's always fun to see those and talk to the actual builders and see what they like and what they do. So yeah, looking forward to that. If I do a video, then you miss the show because I'm too worried about getting the shots. I might take a few pictures and throw them in next week's show of the things that really stood out to me. But I don't want to do a show on NAMM, and I've seen other people do it. It's like anything you do. Like I can remember years back, we'd go to NASCAR races, and I had my little mini movie camera, and I would try to film it. And after the whole thing was done, I would watch and I go, man, I really missed the race because I was more worried about getting it filmed than watching it. So there's something about filming things and trying to take it in that takes your attention away. So I'm going to try to focus on this and maybe just take a few pictures of highlighted stuff, like maybe a custom booth, or if I see a cigar box maker there with his cigar boxes, I'll probably take a picture and then I'll show you on the next show. So looking forward to that. And so I hope you enjoyed the show. It was more kind of a show and tell. I did more review of records. I only had one artist because I have a lot of his albums, Earl Cluth, on my shorts if you want to watch that. And I also, things that I made, I showed off my record holder stands that hold all my record collection. And if you're interested in that, you can check out my shorts. So that'll do it for this week. We'll see you next week on Saturday, 11 o'clock. Mine always post. And so be sure you make comments. If I went over something too fast and you want to see it more in depth, let me know because I can throw that in there too. Somebody said, "Oh, well, show me all where your cigar boxes were stored," because you probably saw them on the rack over here. Or show me more detail on those workbenches. I can break that down and throw a little piece in these videos too. So be sure to comment, be sure to like, tell your friends. These can be entertaining too. I myself know because I watch a lot of YouTube. And when I was thinking about these benches, I watched a lot of videos about building, portable workbenches, small workbenches, because as you can see, my garage is taking up a lot of other stuff. So I was always looking for how can I consolidate things, how can I put things on wheels. And some of these, I actually looked at a workbench that kind of goes up and down like the table. It was a Husky, but man, they only wanted over a couple $100 for it. And I thought I might have things that are already on wheels that I can make these workbenches into. And that's how I kind of came up with the idea to use these tool cabinets I already had to convert them into more of a workbench. And really all I had to do is change the surfaces of them. And then after getting the free desk material, which was already got the Formica in it, I thought, hey, that's perfect. So that was kind of some of my thought center through creating these. I hope you enjoy that. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.